Welcome to Corporate Gita. That phrase on my screen, you can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhi Vandajanapate Nitesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe
वृंदावनेश्वरी
Vishani Sute Pranamami Hari Priya
प्रणमामि हरे प्रिय
Vancha Kalpadurvesha Kripa Sindhu Bhai Paditanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, welcome again. We were going through chapter 15. So, in this chapter, Krishna is talking about the Vedas and he gives the analogy. What is this Veda actually? So, he compares it to the tree, but this tree is inverted. This tree is inverted. Roots are growing upwards, branches are going down. It's an imperishable tree. You cannot find the ends of it. Okay. And then he says that there are various fruits on the tree. And the living entity is trying to enjoy these fruits. When he gets bored, he jumps from one branch to another. Vedas, they provide various kinds of fruit. You can go to heavenly planets, you can enjoy over there. Like there is outer earth. In outer earth, the lifespan is 10,000 years. And there is heavenly planet Swargaloka, where there is no old age, there is no disease. Death is also very peculiar over there, and birth is also very peculiar. And the body is not made of flesh, it is made of subtle element like mind, intelligence, very subtle element. So you don't get any pain as such. Right now, any small um, disease that enters into our body, right? It gives us so much pain. Simple fever, cold, cough. so so like this, Vedas offer various kinds of destinations, places, and the living entity the jiva can move from one branch to another. When he comes to this understanding that there is really no great pleasure here, then he starts moving towards the root of this tree, where the Upanishads are, where they talk about liberation, mukti. Okay. So Krishna says this Vedic tree is there. One should be detached from it, should cut it with his weapon of knowledge, and then move towards the root of it, where there is Brahmaloka, where one is uh, after liberation, moksha, self-realization. Because this tree is the reflection of the real tree. This tree is the reflection of the real tree. So this reflection is where we are, and we need to move towards the real tree. So Krishna is telling us to move from here to up there. So that is the aim of this chapter. You understand that this tree in where we are is actually a reflection. So we may see a mango in the reflection, but if we try to get that mango, we won't get it. It will be only an experience of some pleasure, but with that pleasure there will be pain. Okay, because it's a reflection. Now why we want to be in the reflection, right? We want to be in the actual tree. So that is the point of this chapter. Move towards the actual tree. One must cut down this strongly rooted tree with a weapon of detachment. You have to be detached from it. How to be detached? That is the process. First, so we completed till 4. Now, how to be detached? We'll enter into this text. 15.5 Nirman Moha Jita Sanga Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinvitta Kamaha Dvander Vimukta Sukha Dukka Sanger Gachanti Amuda Padam Avayam Tat. Those who are free from false prestige. So how to be detached? First, be free from false prestige. What is prestige? Hmm? What is
Pride.
prestige? Prestige is kind of pride, yes. And that pride is
Yeah.
like, this is mine. I have
Mm.
achieved so much in life, right? But that is called as false. Why it is called false? Why why we cannot become proud in this world? Why we can't be proud of our achievements? What are the various reasons? Can you tell what are the problems of being proud of our achievements in this world? Or there is no problem at all?
It develops a sense of attachment.
Okay, it develops sense of attachment.
Also, like it develops arrogance.
Oh,
Arrogance.
right, arrogance. I am superior, right? Superior kind of mentality. That's right.
Mm, proud.
And what more?
Then superior. Okay, this is superior mentality, superiority
Hmm.
complex. Because we start looking down others, looking down
Yeah,
upon others. Yeah,
yeah. So we look down at others, who
yeah,
are less fortunate.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we digress from the spiritual path, from the goodness.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
It's easy to digress from spiritual path
yeah.
because we kind of become intoxicated
Mm.
with you know kind of like I wouldn't say success, but intoxicated with let's say prestige. It's easy to
Prestige. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like someone says, I've become this big now, I don't need all this, right? He can say like that.
Yeah.
Okay, these are all good points. One of the things, like how to intellectually convince ourselves not to go in this direction. We have to intellectually convince ourselves not to go, because people will say, see, you have to achieve means you have to have a sense of attachment. Okay, you have to fight it out. All that is okay. Sense of attachment can be there. You achieve this thing, therefore there will be some attachment. The thing is, first thing to see is that achievements are temporary.
Mm.
This is like, one, if we look from the reality perspective, right? What is real in this world? Then whatever achievement is actually temporary. We won't be able to take it after death. Let's put it like that. After that, we cannot even take single achievement that we had in this world, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
all the rich people died, but their whole property, money, everything is here only. So it is, you don't have to be religious also to understand this thing. It is just there in front of us that things are pretty temporary. Therefore, we need not be so proud of it, or let's say we need not be so attached to it. Hmm? First thing is achievements are temporary. Second is like The ability comes from Krishna. See, as a devotee, we know that whatever ability we have, it is actually coming from Krishna. So it is Krishna who is helping me to achieve this thing. Okay, whatever achievements I get, when I was baby, I was not able to get these achievements.
Yes, Prabhuji.
See, Usain Bolt, he ran fastest, right? How
Yeah.
many? 10, 15 gold medals, whatever. But when he was baby, he was not able to run as fast as he can. So the ability was developed over the period. Okay, ultimately Krishna gives us this ability. This is only a devotee can understand this. That ability is coming from God. So now why I should be proud of it? I should know, right? Oh, Krishna gave me this ability. Therefore, like your parent may gift you, let's say, a motorbike or a car. You can go around the town and you can show it to people and all that. But at the end of the day, you have to understand na, ki, this was given by my parents, right?
Mm.
You know, if we have that understanding, then we can be grounded. Right? We can be grounded. Hey, this was given by my parents, so I'll take care of it. You know, I don't actually fully deserve this, but it was given by my parent. So a devotee will see this. Okay, this ability comes from Krishna. First, it is temporary. Ability comes from Krishna. More higher understanding is I will use all these achievements in Krishna's service. Whatever I have achieved is I'll put it in Krishna's service. Like sometimes, like we see many people, hmm, they they become very educated, then they do big job, they earn money, and what they do after that, they will buy a house for their parents, or they will pay off their mortgage. Hmm? So they will give it back to their parents, isn't it?
Yes,
or
Prabhu.
or they will help their sisters or brothers in their education, so they will give it back, and some will give back to the society. Like we see many highly achieved people, they turn to charity. Now for a devotee, he will turn it all back in Krishna's service. He will turn it back in Krishna's service. So this is how he will become free from false prestige. Achievements are temporary, so there is no need to be false pride. Okay, ability is coming from Krishna. Again, I need not be falsely proud, because Krishna gave me this. Like parents will give you motorbike, it doesn't mean that you show and say, "Arey, I earned it." No,
Mm.
you didn't earn it. So okay, so we'll be grounded. Okay, and then we will use these achievements in Krishna's service or Lok Sangram. Um, so where were we? So very first point, free from false prestige. So we discussed this, how to become free from false prestige. Illusion, false association. Illusion means to see that this world is a permanent place. I will live forever. Everything that I survey belongs to me and mine. This is all illusion. Illusion means that which is not. Illusion is that which is not true, or it won't be true after some time. So to get the real understanding of this material world is to be free from this illusion. False association, associating with those who are materialistic people. So even avoiding those association, and who understand the eternal. What is eternal? The body is eternal? No. The soul is eternal. The super soul is eternal. Who are done with material lust, Material lust means enjoying propensity that this is me and mine. ये मेरा है, ये मेरे लिए है. It's no. Everything is given under me for certain period of time to take care. When you take care of something, you don't really enjoy it for yourself. Who are freed from duality of happiness and distress. See, this is the nature of this material world, that it will sometimes give us happiness, sometimes give us distress. So the first level of tolerance is that I won't get carried away by happiness, neither I'll get carried away by distress. I will tolerate both. That is the first level. And who unbewildered. See, unbewildered means who has real knowledge, right? He won't be disturbed. So having this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita makes us unbewildered. Unbewildered in sense, we become pakka. Okay, what is happening in this world? We understand that what is the real reason of good, bad things, evil, happiness, distress in this world, and we are not bewildered by it. We are not confused by it. They know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person to attain that eternal kingdom. And ultimately, we want to take Sharanagati of Krishna and achieve the Vaikuntha planets. And when we know the process of it, such a person can give up this Vedic tree and get moksha. So the surrendering process is described very nicely here. So this is the surrendering process, Sharanagati principle, Sharanagati. Um, Sharanagati. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride, because the conditioned soul is puffed up. Have you seen puffed rice?
Yes, Prabhu.
Murmura, puffed up. So don't become puffed up. See the difference between rice and puffed rice. What is the difference? One is small, one is like big in size. But then, if you blow air, which uh, which will blow away faster? The puffed rice,
Of,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So puffed up means time up, meaning the end is very near. So don't become puffed up so much. Like we see sometimes some people, they become so rich quickly, or whatever, they become so puffed up. Then life's one something happens and they again come back to the original state, or whatever they were. It's like that. Don't become puffed up. There is a very nice fish which is called puffer fish. Actually, it is a poisonous fish. It's eaten in Japan. So sometimes people die eating this puffed fish, puffer fish. I'll show you. So yeah, this kind of fish is there, puffer fish. But the very interesting thing is, if it is attacked, right? If this fish is attacked, it will increase its size. It will increase its size. Let's see. Can you see? It has increased the size. Now it is, what it does is that it drinks a lot of water, and then it becomes smaller. It becomes this big. When it is attacked, now it becomes this big. Actual size is very small. So point is, puffer. You become puffed up like a balloon. You puffed up, and then small prick, and then the whole air goes away. So only a devotee can understand this, that I don't have to become puffed up. Puffed up means what? Puffed up means to thinking oneself to be the lord of this material world. That I am great, I am the king here. Such a person becomes, it becomes very difficult for him to surrender to anyone. What to speak of Krishna? To anyone it becomes difficult. Like, like few people they have their own army, small army they have. They'll move around with lot of bodyguards, huh? And they will try to show off in front of police. But one day police force will come, hundreds of police will come, and in front of that he has to surrender. We see such peoples are there. So puffed up people cannot surrender to police. What to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna? You can't. One should know by cultivation of real knowledge that he is not this Lord, he is not Lord of material nature. See, real knowledge means to know that I have not made this material nature. Okay, neither I own it. I am not the Lord of it. Some part of it is given in under my care. Okay, but it is under my care, meaning I have to give it back. The real owner is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. So Sharanagati will happen only when he becomes prideless. When he's or let's say he starts giving up that pride. Then his process of Sharanagati starts. This is a very, very important thing in bhakti. This Sharanagati is very important. And Krishna says in the last chapter also, 18.66. This is the Charam verse, the topmost verse of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami vasucha. Sharanam vraja. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Only surrender unto me. Only surrender to me. This is what Krishna is asking us to do. And to do it, first we need to give up our pride. I am a very big person, okay? I can't bow down to you. That pride, when we give up and when we bow to Krishna, that is the process of surrender. There is a very famous example of Bali Maharaj. Vamandev came in front as a small boy, and Bali Maharaj asked him, "What do you want?" He said, "I just want 3 steps." With 3 steps by a small boy. Bali Maharaj said, "Fine, take it. Even if you asked 100 steps, I wouldn't mind." But then Vamandev grew such huge. In 1 step, upper world. In 2nd step, lower world. And 3rd step, he said, where to keep? No space remained now. Then Bali Maharaj said, keep it on my head. That time, Bali Maharaj's puffed up pride was crushed. And he surrendered to Krishna. Atmanivedan. That is called Atmanivedan. For one who is always expecting some honor in this material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. Pride is due to illusion. For although one comes here, stays for a brief time, then goes away, he has a foolish notion that he is the world, he is the Lord of the world. See, we come here for some time, we stay for some time, then we go away, right? We are at a rented place. We should not say, this rented home is mine. If you go to hotel, and that hotel room number is 708. After 3 days, we should not say this 708 now belongs to me. I am staying here for last 3 days. Now it belongs to me. No, right? All the hotel, officers will come and kick you out. He thus makes all things complicated, and he is always in trouble. The whole world moves under this impression. See, the whole world is moving under this impression. People are considering the land, this earth, belong to human society, and they divided the land under false impression. And they are proprietors. Hey, this is mine, that is yours. This is boundary of my country. One has to get out of this false notion that human society is a proprietor of this world. Hey, this world actually humans don't own it. We are come here, we will stay here for some time, we'll go away. When one is freed from such a false notion, he becomes free from all false association caused by familiar. First is family false notion. Family false notion means here, this house belongs to me, these people belong to me, this caste belong to me. So that false things attachment is there. Social and national affection. I belong to this caste, I belong to this city, I belong to this nation. For little degree, this identification is okay. See, for little degrees identification, no, it's okay to be identified. But if we stretch it like, okay, I am for eternal Indian, or I am for an eternal Mr. So and so, that is the problem. For some time, yes. Like today, you may be working for some company. You can say, I am the employee of this company. You can say, I am employee of Tata. I am employee of Bajaj. And after retirement, you cannot say, I am still employee. No. At that point, you have to say, I am ex-employee. So the real knowledge should be there, that we are in this world, we are in this family, society, nation, and that identification is there till we are there. Once we go, that identification doesn't carry us further. So these faulty associations bind one to material world. They bind us. We think that, oh, I need to be here only. That is a problem. Like some people find it so difficult to leave their home, to leave their city, because they have so much attachment, right? After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. But when one develops spiritual knowledge by reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, when he studies that, when he cultivates knowledge, cultivate means what? Cultivation means to grow that knowledge. This is knowledge is not physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, finance. No. This is spiritual knowledge, reality of what is actually his own. Okay, what does really belongs to me and what actually doesn't belong to me. When we cultivate this knowledge, when one has this understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pains and pleasure. He becomes full in knowledge, then it is possible for him to surrender to the supreme personality of Godhead. Like I always give this example of children playing video game. Okay, we are playing this video game. Sometimes we win in this, sometimes we lose in this. But we cannot say, I earned these many points, I earned these many dollars in this game, and now this belongs to me and all that. Right? It is just a game. So when we become detached to this game, then the happiness and distress, the pleasure and pains that the game offers us, we become free from it because we understand the reality. Let me put this question to you. When you were a teenager and you used to play the games, video game or any game, cricket, a win, a loss would affect you so much, right?
Yes,
Isn't it?
Prabhu. Yes. Yeah.
Like simple India Pakistan match, it brings us so much emotions, right?
Mm.
So as teenagers we were so affected by it, but let's say today you play the same game and let's say you win in it, you won't get carried away today, right? You won't get carried away today by that same game. Hmm? Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
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 See, because we have grown up.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
simple words, we have grown up. ये बच्चों का खेल है. I'm not. We play it just like that. But children will take it to heart, right? And we won't take it that much to heart. So whether we win or whether we lose, it it is not pushing us to the extremes. Like children, if they lose, they'll keep crying. They will instead fight also, or sometimes they'll run away with the bat. Isn't it?
Mm.
Because they have very attached to that winning and losing, and this is mine, I have to win. Hey, what did you get? Like, I always ask this question: if India wins the World Cup, what did you get out of it? It is the 11 players, they got 58 crore rupees. How much you got? Zero.
Nothing.
Nothing. So when we come to this reality, next time when India plays, you're not going to get carried away by it, isn't it?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
I
So this is
think
what it
people
is.
are crazy.
Yeah, tell what.
Yeah, people are crazy. Still, they get carried away.
Exactly. See, but one who has developed this knowledge now, real understanding,
Hmm. Yeah.
they become free from dull conceptions: happiness, distress, success, failure, pains, pleasure. They know how much to take, how much not to take. There is a very famous cricketer, New Zealand captain. I don't know his name, but what has happened with him is that he has lost many finals. New Zealand has reached many finals, but they have lost in the finals. And he was the captain.
Ken Williamson. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know his
Ken?
name, but the point is that he, even though he fails, he still comes back. He's not carried away by that failure. He still comes back. He still fights. He still plays.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
And basically he understands that this is just a game, and failure, success will be part of it. We have to give a fight. So it is said that he understands the nature of this game. Unfortunately, he's failing in the finals, but that's it. That is what it is. So he's able to overcome happiness and distress because his understanding of that game is, it is just the nature of it, like that. There are some interviews of it. If I come across, I will share. You will see that people who have developed this, they are happy in failure also. They are very equipoised. They are samatva. They are equipoised. He becomes fully in knowledge, then it is possible for him to surrender to the supreme personality of God. Then the process of sharanagati is very easy. So okay, spent a lot of time here. A very important concept. Now Krishna is telling, you surrender to me, you come to me. Now if you come to me, like if we are told you have to relocate to so and so city, say you have to relocate to Mumbai, the first question will be, will I get a flat to live? Huh? How much far is it from the office? And relocation fees. Hmm? So many questions will come, right? So when so now Krishna is telling us, you come to me. Okay, you surrender to me, you come to me. Now Krishna has also to tell, na, if you are relocating from material world to spiritual world, what is there in the spiritual world? So Krishna is going to talk about a little bit of the spiritual world, what it is. Natad bhasate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. See, this dhama means place. This my place is very supreme. Natad bhasate suryo. Surya, you know what is Surya? Sun. No, there is no sun required over there. Na shashanko na pavakaha. Neither moon is required, neither pavakaha. No electricity is required. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dham paramam mama. When you go there, you don't come back. It is not a holiday place, or a tourist place. You go there, then after 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, you come back. No, you don't come back only. What is the point of saying there is no need of Surya and moon and electricity? Is it a dark place?
No.
Yeah, that's the point he's saying. It is not a dark, it is self illuminated. In this Brahmanda, see, this is Brahmanda, all the planets are there. It's all very dark here. So we need a sun to shine, right?
Mm.
We need a sun, a light source we need. So, like I was saying, if you are told to relocate to Mumbai, you will be saying, okay, electricity is there, water is there, how far it is, and all that, right? All these questions are there. But Krishna is saying, don't worry about the electricity, don't worry about sun, moon, everything is illuminated. Okay, okay, if I go there, then how many years I have to stay? No, that also you don't worry. Na gatva, na nivartante. You won't come back also. You will be permanently over there. Right now, United States is deporting people, right? So those who have green card, they are thinking we should become citizen now. Then they cannot deport us, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Krishna is saying it is not a green card. You will directly become citizen. No wait time also. See, all these questions Krishna is answering in one shloka. The supreme abode of mind is not illuminated by sun, moon, nor by fire, electricity. It is self-illuminated. You don't need a sun, moon. Like in this world, you need a sun in the morning and a moon in the night. And when it is cold, you need fire. Huh? You need some electricity. No, nothing is needed there. Everything is available. Okay, will I stay forever there? Yes, you will not return only. The spiritual abode world, the abode, that is Vaikuntha planets, the abode of Supreme Personality of Sri Krishna is known as Krishna Loka Golok Vrindavan. Is described here. In the in the spiritual sky, there is no need. There is no need of sunshine, moonshine, fire, electricity because all planets are self-illuminous. They are self-illuminous. What is the element which is self-illuminous in this world? See, diamonds in dark they shine, right? Isn't it? Don't diamonds shine in a dark room? You don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. If you have a real diamond in a dark room, it will shine. You don't need light. It will give light. So this is what is called as self-illuminous.
Mm.
This is just one diamond. Okay. So Krishna is saying, my world is like that. It is self-illuminous. You don't need external source. We have only one planet in this world, universe, Sun, which is self-illuminous. Sun is self-illuminous, right? Sun is emitting light. So it is self-illuminous.
Yes.
Like I gave this example of diamond. It is self-luminous. But all the planets in the spiritual sky is self-luminous. The shining effulgence of all these planets called Vaikuntha constitute the shining sky known as Brahmajyotir. It is inside the Brahmajyotir. Actually, the effulgence is emanating from the planet of Krishna, Golok Vrindavan. Part of that shining effulgence is covered by Mahatattva, the material world. Other than this, the major portion of that shining sky is full of spiritual planets which are called Vaikuntha, chief of which is Golok Vrindavan. As long as living entity in this dark material world, he is conditioned life. But as soon as he reaches the spiritual sky by cutting through the false perverted tree of this material world, he becomes liberated. So there is the when one reaches Vaikuntha paradise, he is moksha, he is liberated. Then there is no chance of his coming back. When one is liberated, he doesn't come back. He is free from the jail. When one is free from the jail, then they don't put him back in the jail. It's like that. In this conditioned life, the living entity considers himself to be the lord of this material world, but in his liberated state, he enters into the spiritual kingdom and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord. There you become the associate of the Supreme Lord. There he enjoys eternal bliss, eternal life, and full knowledge. One should be captivated by this information. Captivated means should be attracted. Yes, such a great thing, right? Like if I tell you, if I show you, places to visit in Switzerland. Um, let's say, if I show just a flyer. Okay, let's see this. When you see packages of visiting, various places, like this is Switzerland. So day one will be in this place, day two will be in this place, day three will be here, day four will be here, day five will be here, right? Such beautiful places, right? So we are captivated by this information. This is how we should be captivated when Krishna is showing the flyer of the Vaikuntha planets. This is the flyer of the Vaikuntha planets. Travel agent. He should desire to transfer himself to the eternal world and extricate himself from the false reflection of reality. For one who is too much attached to this material world, it is very difficult to cut that attachment. But if he takes to Krishna consciousness, see, only a devotee can understand this, okay? Not everyone can understand. Even on spiritual pratna, some people don't understand this. Only a bhakta can understand. But if he takes to Krishna consciousness, there is a chance of gradually become detached. One has to associate himself with devotees. So a bhakti yogi, what he will associate with devotees. Those are already Krishna conscious. He should search out for a society dedicated to Krishna consciousness and learn how to discharge devotional service. In this way, he can cut off his attachment to the material world. One can one cannot become detached from attraction of the material world simply by dressing himself in saffron cloth. Just by wearing bhagwa, you don't become a renunciate. It must be in the heart. That renunciation should be in the heart. That detachment should be in the heart. He must become attached to devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, one should take it very seriously. That devotional service is described in 12th chapter. In the 12th chapter, Krishna described all the stages of devotional service. And that is the way to get out of the false representation of the real tree. In the 14th chapter, the contamination of three kinds of processes by material nature is described. Only devotional service is described as purely transcendental. In the three modes we saw, right? Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, all of them have problems. Even Sattvagun has problems. But Bhakti Yoga is above the three gunas. The words Paramam Mama is very important here. Actually, every nook and corner is a property of the Supreme Lord, but the spiritual world is Paramam, full of six opulences. The Katha Upanishad also confirms that in the spiritual sky there is no need of sunshine, moon, or stars. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. For the whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. That supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. How can you achieve Vaikuntha Prayers? By Sharanagati. Krishna is saying next, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vrajam. So here is why he's telling you have to surrender unto me. But before surrender, he's he's giving us this flyer. Okay, when you come to my abode, it won't be like this world where you need a sun, moon, fire, electricity, everything is available. There are trees in Vaikuntha planets which are called as Kalpa Vriksha. Kalpa Vriksha tree is means you sit under that tree and whatever you desire, you will get. Under the tree, if you desire mango, you will get mango. Under the tree, you desire milk, you will get milk. So like that. So Krishna is giving us this flyer so that we become attracted and we become captivated. We say, yes, I want to go to this place. मम एव अंशो जीवलोके जीव मम एव अंशो जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातनः मनःषष्ठानि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. मम एव अंश. All these jiva are there, na jiva loke in this world. They are mine, mama. They are my ansha. Ansha means part and parcel. They are my parts. They are my children. Jiva bhuta sanatanaha. They are in this world for eternal time. Mana shashtani indriyani, with this mind and five senses, they are karashati. Prakriti sthani karashati. In this world, they are sthani. They are living in this world. Karashati. Karashati means struggling. They are struggling in this world. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with six senses, which include the mind. We are all struggling hard, right? We can talk over this struggling hard for a long, long time, because everyone has a unique problem, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
You know, Indians are very captivated to go to
गट्टी
America
बजी
or
क्या?
Europe.
अरे
Some
गट्टी
disturbance.
बनाई?
Yeah. So we are very captivated, to go to some place, Europe or United States, because it is a free land or whatever. But if we go there, there also, people are struggling. It is not that they are not struggling; they are also struggling. So material world, anywhere we go, it is always struggling. So Krishna is saying, "Come to my world. There is no struggle there." In this world, in this verse, the identity of the living being is very clearly given. The living entity is the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord eternally. It is not that he assumes individuality in this conditioned life, and in his liberated state he becomes one with the Supreme. He is eternally fragmented. It is clearly said, Sanatanaha. Eternal. Sanatan means eternal. According to Vedic version, the Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself in innumerable expansions, of which primary expansions are called Vishnu Tattva. So Krishna expands as Vishnu Tattva, that is Vishnu, Narayan, Narsimha, Vamana, and then the secondary are we. We are all Jivas, but we are not Vishnu Tattva, we are Jiva Tattva. We are not equal to Vishnu, we are subordinate to Vishnu, Tathashta Shakti. And there is another expansion which is called Shakti, and that Shakti is of two natures, spiritual and material. Spiritual is Yogamaya, material is Mahamaya. We had this discussion some time ago.
Mm.
Energies, spiritual, material. Spiritual is Tathastha, Jiva, that is V. Internal energy is Yogamaya. External energy is that is inferior, that is material. Three modes, Mahamaya, Durga, like that. In other words, Vishnu Tattva is personal expansion and living entities are separated expansions. By his personal expansion, he is manifested in various forms like Rama, Nrsimha, Vishnu Murti, and all the predominating deities in the Vaikuntha planets. The separated expansions, the living entities, are eternally servatus. The personal expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the individual identities of Godhead are always present. Similarly, the separated expansion of living entity have their identities. As fragmental parts and parcel of Supreme Lord, the living entities also have fragmental portions of his qualities, of which independence is one. This is some detail that we are going. But just for the time, I will try to finish it and then we will discuss. Every living entity, as the individual soul, has its personal individuality and minute form of independence. By misuse of that independence, one becomes conditioned soul, and by proper use of independence, he was always liberated. In either case, he is qualitatively eternal, as the Supreme Lord is. In his liberated state, he is freed from material condition and is under engagement of the transcendental service of the Lord. In his conditioned life, he is dominated by material modes of nature and he forgets the transcendental loving service of Lord. As a result, he has to struggle very hard to maintain his existence in this material world. The living entities, not only human beings and the cats, dogs, even the great controls of the material world, Brahma, Shiva, and even Vishnu are all parts and parcel of Krishna, Supreme Lord. They're all eternal, not temporary manifestation. The word karshati means struggling is very significant. The conditioned soul is bound up as though shackled by iron chains. He is bound up by false ego. Mind is the chief agent which is driving him in this material existence. When the mind is in mode of goodness, his activities are good. When the mind is in passion, his activities are troublesome. When mind is ignorant, he travels to lower species. It is the game of the mind. What guna the mind is, sattvagun, rajagun, tamagun, he will either be good, misery, or mad. It is clear, however, in this verse that the condition of soul is covered by material body and the mind and senses. And when he is liberated, material covering perishes, but his spiritual body manifests itself in its individual capacity. The following information is there in this particular Shruti, Madhya Madhya Dina Yana Sushruti. It is stated here that when the living entity gives up his material embodiment and enters into the spiritual world, he revives his spiritual body. So when we reach the Vaikuntha planets, we are not in this particular body that we are in. We are in a spiritual body. That is our real body. It is not made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay. It is made of Satchit Ananda. These are spiritual elements. It's made of Sat, eternal, Chit, full of knowledge. You don't have to learn ABCD there. You already have that knowledge. Ananda, that body is giving you pleasure. Such is that body. That is a spiritual body. And there we can see Krishna face to face, hear and speak to him. We can understand him as he is. So on Smriti also it is understood. In the spiritual planets, everyone lives in bodies featured like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are features where one has four-handed Vishnu forms. He also looks like Vishnu only. Then there are features of two-handed Vishnu forms. Like that, and there are many others. As far as body construction is concerned, there is no difference between part and parcel and expansions of Vishnu Murti. In other words, at liberation, the living entity gets a spiritual body by grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Mama Eva Amsha are also very significant. The fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is not something, so it is not a broken part. It is not a broken part, okay? Because we cannot be cut into pieces. The soul cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be cut by any weapon. So it is not a broken part. This fragment is not materially conceived. Okay, it is not like matter where you cut things and then join together again. No, that conception is not applicable here because we are eternal. So we were never broken as such. We were there with Krishna before time. Okay. The fragmental portion is eternal. It is also stated in the beginning of second chapter that in each and every individual body, the fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is present. Denosvim yatade. That fragmental portion, when liberated from material entanglement, revives its original spiritual body in the spiritual sky, in spiritual planet, enjoys association with the Supreme Lord. It is, however, understood here that the living entity, being fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is qualitatively one with the Lord, just as the part and parcel of gold are also gold. Okay. So a lot of things were said, but mostly the points that were discussed is Mama Aiva Amsha. Ansha. So part and parcel, but it is not broken from Krishna. Okay. Why we say it is not broken? Because it is Sanatana. Krishna is Sanatan. Krishna is eternal. We are also eternal. So how can we be broken? Broken means at some point of time it was broken. Right? But Sanatana means it was never broken. It is eternal. It is there from before time. So this Ansha is not broken part. It is a part like that. And then we are Karashati. Karashati means struggling. With what? With mana. Our mind is the problem of our struggles, isn't it? Our mind is ultimately the problem of our struggle. If it is good, then we are good. If it is not good, then we are crazy. Um, Otherwise, the mind can drive us mad also. So when one takes to spiritual life, perfects his spiritual life, he goes back to the Vaikuntha planets where he doesn't get this kind of body, where he's struggling. He gets a Satchitananda body, spiritual body. And that spiritual body doesn't have any pain. It is full of eternal knowledge and bliss. And there one is serving the Supreme Lord in various facilities, various relationships. There are five kinds of relationships one can have with Krishna. It's called the five rasas. First is Shantaras, second is Dasaras, third is Sakya, Sakyaras. Ras means it's a relationship, loving relationship. You can say that, and it is uh, it is a mellow. Hmm, that relationship is very tasteful. Then Vatsalya ras, and fifth is Madhurya. So Shantaras, there the relationship is not very great, but still this Shantaras is there, where one serves Krishna silently, like cow, cloth, flute. So he's serving Krishna like that. Dasras is where he's serving as a servant. Who is the greatest servant? Hanuman. So he serves like Hanuman. Sakya is like friend. How he serves like Arjuna. Arjuna is a great friend of Krishna. Vatsalya is like parental. The the love is so mature that one is thinking I have to protect Krishna. So like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Devaki, Vasudeva. So we see such parental love, and then Madhurya Las is conjugal, where one acts like a wife of Krishna or girlfriend of Krishna. It's like that. So it's conjugal. You can say Lakshmi, Rukmini, Radha, like that. So when we reach the spiritual world, we are in one of these four rasas. Either we will serve Krishna as a friend or a servant or parental. This is fixed, okay? In our case, it is fixed. When we revive our spiritual perfection, right? Our spiritual master will come and say in which rasa we are there. And then we will develop Raganuga Bhakti in that path. Let's say if it's Vatsalya, then we will meditate on the pastimes of Nanda, Yashoda, Devaki, Vasudev, and in that there'll be a Raganuga Bhakti. And when it is perfected to the stage of Prema, we'll go back to Krishna, and then there we will serve him like a parent serves a child. In similar lines of like Nanda, Yashoda, Devaki, Vasudeva. Okay, so all this was discussed. These are very amazing verse. So any questions or comment at this point? Any questions or comment? Any question or comment?
No problem.
Maybe to this question, just one question.
Hmm.
We were discussing this ego, false ego,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there sometimes like we use a word self-respect. So pride, self-respect, and this false ego. Like, is there any limit? I mean, how to identify or to
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I understand your question.
Yeah, yeah, we're digressing. Yeah, where we are.
No, no, not digressing. It is there. Like in the third chapter, 13th chapter, we read this.
Hmm.
Um, There's a big list.
Yeah, Bluetooth.
So in this we discussed, but it is very interesting to understand. Okay, like this is the list, but I'll take the table format, which is easy to see. Hmm. So Krishna says this is the items of knowledge, and
Mm.
first he says humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity. Okay, so again your question is, if we are to be humble, that means someone can abuse us and then we
Yeah,
still should be okay.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly,
yes,
right.
yes.
If we are prideless, then we should have no pride at all. Non-violence, does it mean zero violence? Tolerate means, should I tolerate everything? Simplicity means everything should be simple. Well, now very interesting thing we discussed in these points is that humility means not to be anxious to be satisfaction of being honored by others. Now there are two places now in this world. Now we are in two places. One is where we are working and we are in our material life, family and work. Okay. And second is when we are with devotees and guru or in a temple, right?
Yes, bro.
So it's a very clear thing. We are either in this material domain or we are in the spiritual domain.
Yeah,
Okay. So when we are in the material domain, there we need not apply this whole definition because we have to
mm.
play certain roles. Let's say we are a king or we are a CEO of a company. At that point, we should expect honor by others. Otherwise, who will listen? Nobody will
Yeah,
listen.
yes.
So there we need not apply this definition, humility.
Mm.
Non-violence. If one is in police, army, he has to fight. He cannot say zero violence. Then he has to understand what is non-violence. Non-violence doesn't mean zero violence. Non-violence means necessary violence. To protect the weak from the evil, one has to use violence. That is non-violence. Humility means what? Humility means to be not anxious for honor. Okay, but to make sure that people honor the position, not us but the position. I am a king, you should honor this position, otherwise it is a problem for you. I am the CEO, you have to honor this position, otherwise you won't listen and we will take this company down then, right?
Yes, yes.
So there, the you should understand that humility over there is not for is definitely for oneself, but at that point it is the position. So like you cannot say, you cannot be humble towards your children, you have to discipline them.
Yeah,
Same way, tolerance also. If somebody is abusing you emotionally, physically, sexually, you cannot put it under this tolerance, you have to protect yourself. You cannot be
yeah,
simple in every place. If a person is going to kill you, you cannot be simple over there.
yeah.
You
Right, right.
have to protect your body. Okay, now we understood, okay, there are situations where we need not apply these principles. Okay,
Mm.
but there are these great devotees of the Lord, the pure devotees, who won't even mind those situations. Like the example is given here of Prahlad Maharaj. He was physically abused, he was emotionally abused by his parents, by his father, and by other people who listened to his father, right?
Right.
And they tried to kill him. But because Prahlad Maharaj was such a pure devotee that he was not at our level, his tolerance was beyond. He had nothing, he had no conception of even protecting his body, because uh, his spiritual maturity was very high. Okay, ours is not like that. But we need not follow Prahlad Maharaj. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
See, we have to follow him in devotional practice. But in case of the um, literal example of him being tolerant, we need not follow that.
yeah. Understood. Yeah,
Like
understood, Prabhupada.
Jada Bharat was allowing himself to be killed by the dacoits, to be offered to Kali.
Yeah.
He was that simple. But Mother Kali couldn't tolerate that. She burst out from her DT form and killed all the dacoits. See, this is the story of Jada Bharat that we discussed that time.
Yeah, yeah, Prabhupada.
This image is very nice. Like, they were trying to kill him, and she came out from the DT from and killed everyone else. So she is also pure devotee. Okay, she is pure devotee of Krishna, but she didn't follow the example of Jada Bharat. Tolerate, simple, humble. Did she follow?
No, yes, Prabhupada. No.
So it is like that. So the point to mention is, when you talk about limit, right, we should understand in what domain we are. Okay, material domain, spiritual domain. In front of devotees, in front of DT, in front of the DT, in front of Guru, you have to be humble.
Okay.
There we should not say, I am such a big person, I am CEO of this company, you need to pay obeisances to me. Hey, this is not your company. You are in front of your Guru, right?
Yes,
Yes,
So
Prabhupada.
Prabhu.
there we have to be humble. Like that it is.
Okay, Prabhupada. Yeah.
So this is how we make a balance of these qualities. Okay, balance in sense we understand where to apply when. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. So, but still we will find examples in the Shastras who will follow this irrespective of the situation. The reason for that is because they are pure devotees, they are very Shuddha Bhakta, they are not at our level, or we are not at their level.
Yeah, yes, Prabhupada. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. See, sometimes children, they imitate father and mother, isn't it?
Mm.
They try to pick up this whole big bag or something.
Most.
It is not possible for them. They think I will imitate, but it won't work out. So one has to grow up. One has to, grow up, come to that level, then he can do that thing. So unless we come to the level of Prahlad Maharaj, we cannot follow the full value of tolerance. Like one thing I was saying about simplicity, Jada Bharat allowed himself to be killed, right?
Mm.
But in our Acharya line, there were two Acharyas who were imprisoned by a Muslim king, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They used diplomacy to come out of it. They bribed the jailer, they gave him money, and they ran out of it. And then they went to Vrindavan. So you understand, we have a Acharya in our line
Ghost.
who is the example of simplicity, but when he was imprisoned, he used diplomacy to come out of it. So the point is, if it is for the service of Krishna, then we will use it differently, like that,
The
if it is for protection of our bhakti, okay, then we may act differently. I hope this helps you understand, right? You got it, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
okay. So any other last question or comment? Any other question or comment? Okay, okay, so we'll stop here.